Hi everyone, my name's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And today I'm going to share with you how to create this elegant card. It uses the stamp set called Blooming with Kindness, and it looks just like this. It's got a lot of great sentiments in a very elegant script. And then it also uses a background paper called Eastern Elegance. Lots of beautiful designs to choose from in that paper pack. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with some baked brown sugar cardstock. We're going to cut that at 5.5 by 8.5 and score it at 4 1/4. And then you'll notice on the fold line there's a valley and there's a mountain. And I always choose to fold towards the mountain, which means the valley will be to the outside of your card. Now, if you've ever Googled how to score things, that is the proper way to score things. It creates less breakage along the spine. And now on the inside of the card, we're going to need a piece of Whisper White paper, and I have cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. And then on the other side here, I've already gone ahead and applied a strip of Designer Series paper to match the outside of our card. This is cut at 1/2 inch by 4 inches, and I've just put that on with a little bit of our multi-purpose glue. Now on the back here, I'm just going to lay down a strip of snail. You only need a little bit at the top of your inside panel. You want to keep that nice and loose and elegant. If it's all tightly put down, well, number one, you're wasting quite a bit of adhesive, because if you burnish this top part, it will stay well for you. And then also, if you've ever noticed, anything elegant always has layers and looseness to it. All right, and now the top part of our paper, we're going to move this aside for a second. We are going to need another piece of Whisper White paper. This is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then that is going to be layered with a piece of Designer Series paper. That is cut at 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And then I'm just going to use some multi-purpose liquid glue, and we are going to go ahead and adhere that. Now typically, I don't like to use multi-purpose liquid glue on a Whisper White panel because sometimes it will show through over time. However, this Whisper White panel, you will never see this side because it's going to be layered onto our baked brown sugar card base. However, I wanted to make a panel here first because we're going to do a ribbon wrap along the bottom, and I'm just going to have maybe not quite a 1/2 inch show of the designer paper. And then I've just got a piece of the Whisper White taffeta, which is on our discontinued list. I don't know what I'm really excited to see what they got in the catalog, because this is one of my favorite ribbons. I use it all the time. It makes beautiful bows and it makes really cute tie-ons, and it's nice and soft and easy to work with. And then I have another little strip right here that I'm just going to use as my tie-on. This is maybe about 4 inches, I suppose. And so I'm just going to start kind of like I'm tying my shoe. I'm a little bit all thumbs today here. It's kind of early in the morning for me. All right. And then once we get it started, to get the flat part of the bow, just put your thumb over here and then kind of flip it up. Flip it up and around so that the bottom part comes to the top. And you have this really cute and flat tie-on. And then I've got a ribbon scissors just to trim those edges. Now my ribbon scissors here, I think, is getting a little bit dull. Sometimes my customers don't realize it's a ribbon scissors, and they use it to cut cardstock, and there might be glue on the cardstock or whatnot, so I need to clean those up again. Alright, so this is pretty much ready to be put onto our baked brown sugar panel. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. Here's our line of glue that we're going to use all the way around. Well, maybe not. I think it's out. Oh dear. Let's go ahead and finish it up with snail. And we're going to set this on just like this. Get that nice and centered. And now we just have a couple more layers and our card will be done. So we're going to start with a tea lace doily. Looks like this from Stampin' Up. really glad to see that is continuing. I use those all the time. I have a thing for elegant cards, and so of course these come in handy for that reason. I think maybe like this. There we go. And then we need a scrap of Calypso or Coastal Cabana paper, and then using a circle framelit, I'll show you which one. It's number 7. If you line them all up, I used number 7, starting with 1 in the middle. And then I ran that through the Big Shot machine to get my circle. Then what you do is you just take Versamark ink and you ink up that flower. And that's going to be a watermark ink, so it's not going to be very visible. Now if I were just using it as a watermark, over time that would get a little bit darker and you would be able to see that image better. However, today we're going to use some white embossing powder over the top of that image. Now I always buy a couple of jars of embossing powder and put it in these little, I think they're like, is it Rubbermaid? These little Rubbermaid containers. There we go. And then we're just going to take that to the heat gun and emboss that. And so I have done that in advance. So here is my beautiful flower already embossed. And I just put 3 dimensionals on the back. We're just going to center this into our doily. And it's beautiful, and our card is done. Now you can either choose to leave the inside blank, or in this case, I'm going to use the birthday wishes. So I'm going to take some Coastal Cabana ink and ink it up. And then I'm just going to center this into the top part of my panel. Straight down, straight up, and we have our birthday card. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. I truly appreciate you. Bye-bye.